Good morning, children. Sairam. Welcome to part 2 of History Chapter 4, that is the Mughal Empire. Children, we have already done the explanation part previously. Now, this is the part 2 of a revision session, right? Yes. So, yesterday we had started with the Mughal campaigns. So, children, in yesterday's session, we had started with the major campaigns and events of Mughal emperors, right? We looked at the important events or important major campaigns, we may say, of Babur, Humayun, and Akbar. Now, today we will move on to the next topic that we have in the major campaigns and events, that is of Emperor Jahangir, right? So, Emperor Jahangir ruled from 1605 to 1627. Military campaigns started by Akbar continued. The Sisodia ruler of Mewar, Amar Singh, accepted Mughal service. Less successful campaigns against the Sikhs, Ahoms, and Ahmednagar followed. Prince Khurram, the future Emperor Shah Jahan, rebelled in the last years of his reign. The efforts of Nur Jahan, Jahangir's wife, to marginalize him were unsuccessful. After that is Shah Jahan, who ruled from 1627 to 1658. The Mughal campaigns continued in the Deccan under Shah Jahan. The Afghan noble Khan Jahan Lodi rebelled and was defeated. Campaigns were launched against Ahmednagar. The Bundelas were defeated and Orcha seized. In the northwest, the campaigns to seize Baik from the Uzbeks was unsuccessful and Kandahar was lost to the Safavids. In 1632, Ahmednagar was finally annexed and the Bijapur forces sued for peace. In 1657-58, there was a conflict over succession amongst Shah Jahan's sons. Aurangzeb was victorious and his three brothers, including Dara Shikoh, were killed. Shah Jahan was imprisoned for the rest of his life in Agra. Now we move on to the next one, that is Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb ruled from 1658 to 1707. In the northeast, the Ahoms were defeated in 1663, but they rebelled again in the year 1680s. Campaigns in the northwest against the Yusufzai and the Sikhs were temporarily successful. Mughal intervention in the succession and internal politics of the Rathore Rajputs of Marwar led to their rebellion. Campaigns against the Maratha chieftain Shivaji were initially successful, but Aurangzeb insulted Shivaji, who escaped from Agra, declared himself an independent king, and resumed his campaign against the Mughals. Prince Akbar rebelled against Aurangzeb and received support from the Marathas and the Deccan Sultanate. He finally fled to Safavid, Iran. After Akbar's rebellion, Aurangzeb sent armies against the Deccan Sultanates. Bijapur was annexed in 1685 and Golconda in the year 1687. From 1698, Aurangzeb personally managed campaigns in the Deccan against the Marathas, who started guerrilla warfare. Aurangzeb also had to face the rebellion in the North India of the Sikhs, Jats, and Satnamis, in the northeast of the Ahoms, and in the Deccan of the Marathas. His death was followed by the succession conflict amongst his sons. Now we move on to the next topic, that is Mughal traditions of succession. Prior to that, just one thing that I would like to tell you here. Military campaigns also has a map, okay, which I have already explained to you. Just I'll brief you in short about how it is supposed to be done. When you get a map, okay, in your exam, there will be an alphabet, okay, mentioned on the map with an arrow. You have to identify that place, okay. Now what you need to do is basically you have to understand which that place is and select the proper answer from the MCQs. Again, for your information, that alphabet mentioned on the map will be the question number. Okay. Now, we move on to Mughal traditions of succession. The Mughals did not believe in the rule of primogeniture. When I explained this chapter, I already told you that primogeniture is nothing but a rule of inheritance in which the eldest son is the heir to the throne of his emperor father. So, what happened? Mughals did not believe in the rule of primogeniture, where the eldest son inherited his father's estate. Instead, they follow the Mughal and the Timurid custom of corpuscular inheritance. Now, what is corpuscular inheritance? Division of wealth among all the sons equally. Okay. So, children, before we move on further, let us do some question answer session, a revision kind of a session, till whatever we have done. Okay. Why the rulers of the Middle Ages faced difficulties to rule the Indian subcontinent? It was because of the people of diverse backgrounds and cultures who lived in the Indian subcontinent. Who defeated Ibrahim Lodi and his Afghan supporters in the year 1526? Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi and his Afghan supporters in 1526 at Panipat. Who were defeated by Babur at Chanderi in 1528? Babur defeated the Rajputs at Chanderi in 1528. Right? Who was the regent of Akbar? Bairam Khan was the regent of Akbar. What do you mean by the rule of primogeniture? We have just discussed this, isn't it? Under the primogeniture system, the eldest son inherit, inherits the father's property after his death. Okay, so I just hope the chapter till here is very much clear and you have understood all the points. I hope you have written the important points in your notepad. Now we move on to the next topic, that is relationship of Mughals with other rulers. So children, from the table that we studied previously, we found that the Mughal rulers campaigned constantly against the ruler who refused to accept their authority. But as the Mughals became powerful, many other rulers also joined them voluntarily. Rajputs are a very good example of this. What happened was the Rajputs married their daughters into the Mughal families. Okay, and they received high position. But not all were like this. Some of them resisted also. The Sisodia Rajputs refused to accept Mughal authority for a very long time. Once defeated, however, they were honorably treated by the Mughals, given back their lands, that is Watan, as assignments, that is Watanjogger. The careful balance between defeating but not humiliating their opponents enables the Mughal to extend their influence over many kings and chieftains. But it proved difficult to keep this balance always, which led to Shivaji Maharaj's rebellion. So children, with this I end this part of the revision session of chapter 4, that is the Mughal Empire. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and keep learning.